Rogan. I was born here. I've been here all my life. I have 2 degrees from the University of Tennessee. So we do wealth management and retirement planning. So what does that really mean? Anything in your life that could impact your finances, whether it's investing money, whether it's how to structure income, if we can optimize our taxes, so we serve people. And that's part of our mission statement. We serve people.
And he's an amazing man. Good morning to you. Happy hump day. Get that camel right up there, ready for the show. He was looking at me all morning long going, come on, Witcher, are you going to put me up there? I was like, yeah, I will. Calm down there, Mr. Camel, Mr. Ed. We do have Ed Rupp joining us on the show this morning. So remember, if you're new to the platform, Ed Rupp from the good old TV days, yeah. He is part of East Tennessee weather, so we've got a lot to talk about. Hey, but we do have a lot to talk about, actually. I want to really dive into a little bit more detail of not exactly. There's no exact science when it comes to weather, but the potential for maybe increasing rain thanks to some tropical moisture and the potential of a cold front. It doesn't look like it's going to do a clean sweep, unfortunately, which would decrease our dew points, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We've got a lot of photos to share with you, and we've got several national holidays that I've glanced at already this morning. So strap in, grab yourself a cup of coffee here this morning, and enjoy the morning. By the way, my coffee is going to be, it's a strawberry, I think it's like a strawberry vanilla flavored coffee. Kind of strange, right? It's actually really tasty. So grab your coffee of choice here this morning. Let's take it back outside and show you what it looks like. This is a live look in downtown Clinton here this morning. Got a little spider web there on the camera. Beautiful sunrise taking shape. It just doesn't get much better than that, does it? Absolutely gorgeous start to the day. All right, let's go to the weather maps, and we'll show you the rainfall that we saw yesterday. We didn't see a ton of rainfall, just a couple of spotty showers, and kind of held true to about what I was saying, north of Interstate 40 and basically northeast of downtown Knoxville, although didn't get a whole lot up towards Granger, Hamblin, Hawkins, Hancock, and even Greene County. So a few good showers and a few good thunderstorms over into Sevier County and parts of Cocke County. Late last night, early this morning, had a little piece of energy kind of swinging its way on through, and that's what provided a little bit more activity there. And over towards Spring City, got a little bit of activity as well. We did top out at 94 degrees. I always like to keep you up to date on my forecasting skills, I suppose. Although when it's sunny, hot, and dry, it's not really that hard. It's really when it gets into winter weather, the changing pattern that makes meteorology difficult. But I was forecasting 94 yesterday. We hit 87 in Crossville, 96 Chattanooga, and 91 degrees in Tri-Cities. So yesterday was our 23rd day of 90 degrees or hotter. We averaged 34 per season, generally speaking. Chattanooga's a little bit more, Tri-Cities a little bit less, same with Cumberland County, but the general idea is I cut East Tennessee in the middle by picking Knox County. But 22 days. 23 days, I think, of 90 degrees or hotter already. So, and officially at the reporting stations didn't pick up any rainfall. All right, on the big picture, not much going on out there right now. A few showers and thunderstorms up into Kentucky. I've been showing you that mid-level energy and spin in the atmosphere. The reason I do that is because I want to show you, I try to teach you a little bit about meteorology as well. So this is up at about 15 to 18,000 feet in elevation. And so these are little disturbances, all the yellows and reds and oranges that you see on the map. Kind of give us an idea if it helps to provide, if we get some mid-level energy to help lift the atmosphere versus just the daytime heating, which also lifts the atmosphere, which I'm going to talk about as well. So here's our mid-level energy and spin. When we put it into motion, you'll see how we don't have a lot of those yellows and reds and oranges right here in East Tennessee. So I'm going to zoom in. Got a couple pieces of energy here or there. That is going to help to provide a little extra lift in the atmosphere, but it's not going to be super widespread. So like yesterday, I just don't think that we see a whole lot of mid-level support in the atmosphere. We don't have the upper-level support, but we do have the daytime heating. And so when you look at forecast storm energy, this is going to loop. You can see how we heat up the atmosphere, we create a lot of buoyancy, energy in the atmosphere. And so, yeah, it's going to be the sun's energy for the most part to lift those parcels of air. And if you can get it to the level of free convection or level of the buoyancy level, if you will, then the air starts to rise freely on its own. But not all those cumulus clouds can actually push past that layer to create that buoyancy. I always say like a basketball in the deep end of a swimming pool. You can hold the basketball in the deep end all day long and it's going to stay there. But if you let go, where does it go? Whoop! skyrockets to the sky. And that's what the atmosphere does as well. So we have the energy in the atmosphere, but we don't have a lot of upper level support. So how does that translate to what today's forecast is going to look like? Let me show you on our Futurecast model. Let's go back. Well, you can see the rainfall forecast. It's not going to translate to a whole lot. Come on, clicker. Come on, clicker. Let's go backwards. All right, here we go. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's try this again. There it is. All right, so we are going to start to see those afternoon clouds beginning to build around the area. Lunchtime, we're doing just fine. Go from lunchtime to 3, a couple of spotty showers and thunderstorms will start to develop across the across the plateau and the mountains. You have a south and southeasterly flow across the mountains, so the mountains do likely get a chance for a little bit of rain. And then the winds kind of shift to the north and northeast. And so that's going to be the motion, and see how those come off the mountains and kind of shift their way to the northeast. So generally speaking, a southwesterly flow to the atmosphere, but or northeast. Well, the wind's going to be moving northeast, but coming off the mountains out of the southeast. Does that make sense? Either way you look at it, we are looking at a chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms again today. Kind of like what we saw yesterday. Not everybody gets the rain. Some of you are going to get it, and if you get it, it's going to produce some good, solid downpours. All right, so that's your forecast rainfall. Let's talk temperatures now. Have you been outside yet? It's incredibly muggy. Remember like 2 Mondays ago, or like not this past Monday, but the Monday before, when you walked outside, we talked about it going, it's the air that you can wear that just slaps you in the face. That's the air this morning. So if you've not been outside yet, that is exactly what we are going to be seeing. Sorry, Carcane. Sorry about that, bud. But I think this presents a little bit better to everybody else. All right, here we go. So morning dew points are in the 70s. And when my kids go back to school in like 2.5 weeks, it allows me to take the kids back to the bus stops. Can you believe summer's like almost over? Like, what is going on? All right, we start off in the 70s, incredibly warm. We're on our way to 88 degrees for the lunch hour. Forecast highs back in the upper 80s to low 90s. Pattern hasn't changed, so we're going about 93 degrees today versus the 94 we saw yesterday. But those heat index values are going to be pushing close to 100 degrees. So another hot, steamy afternoon, which makes for a very steamy evening. But I don't know about you. My kid and I, we went to dinner. My in-laws are in town. We went to dinner last night. We were walking out. We drove home together, my oldest son and I. He's like, yeah, I just like these warm summer nights. And I said, dude, I am right there with you. I love the warm summer nights of East Tennessee. They're just the best. 90 by 6, 87 by 8, 82 degrees by 10 o'clock. Now, if you work outside all day, you're like, okay, I just need to head inside to some AC. I ain't going to be sitting outside no more, right? Good English, right, Witcher? All right, here we go. Let me take you to tomorrow. Come on, clicker. Maybe I need to charge my clicker. It's not working very well. Okay, so let me explain this map. High pressure is anchored across the southeastern U.S. You get clockwise rotation around high pressure. There's a cold front to our north and west, okay? That's just the general idea. Now, most of this energy tomorrow stays to our north again. So that means that we're probably going to see a similar pattern tomorrow as what we'll see today and what we saw yesterday. But the Storm Prediction Center has issued a level 1 risk where we have more of that energy up into Kentucky. It is skirting across the Tennessee-Kentucky border, right there. So if this piece of energy, if this energy slides a little bit further to the south, and you realize in these big, giant weather patterns, 50, 100, 200 miles is not a lot for a big, giant, like not storm, but the big, giant atmosphere that we have. But it makes a huge difference in how the weather plays out here locally. So right now, just the Storm Prediction Center has Kentucky and to our north under that level 1 risk. So we'll see what they do and maybe change that tomorrow. I'll keep you posted, obviously. Heat index values, we're talking heat. It doesn't change. Again, we're talking a cold front Friday, Saturday into Sunday-ish time frame, which will elevate our rain chances, which I'll show you on the 7-day forecast here in a second. And this is also potentially part of the bigger picture. So we do have a tropical wave that's invest down into the Gulf. The National Hurricane Center still has a 40% probability of that becoming our next named storm. Likely not going to be the case. I don't think we'll see that. Latest model guidance has that low a little bit, skirting a little bit further to the north, right along the mainland and the Gulf. And so we talked about that about 2 days ago if you were with us. I said the further north this low travels, the less intense that it will become, because it's interacting with land and not just those warm Gulf waters. But notice the cold front in the top left-hand side of the screen and the tropical low that's going to be skirting its way into the Mississippi River Valley, and high pressure anchored across the southeast or over Bermuda. All these elements play a role. So I think what's going to happen is the cold front's going to slide in from the north and west, but not do a full push all the way through East Tennessee. That's going to help to scoop up this tropical moisture and feed it up the Mississippi River Valley and into the Tennessee Valley. And so with that, when you look at your rainfall from the Weather Prediction Center, you can see how that moisture from Mississippi and Alabama is going to skirt its way into Middle Tennessee and into East Tennessee. And I think that's going to be the case. And that will likely, and this takes us all the way just through Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could potentially have better coverage of rainfall. And remember, that's why I always say, don't ever look at a 7-day forecast or your weather apps if you're not using the East Tennessee weather app, which you should be. And you can scan that QR code, by the way. But listen, I mean, a lot of those maps, and I see stuff on social media all the time. Oh, I wanted to go to the mountains today, but looks like it's going to be rainy, because they're looking at an icon and they're looking at percentages, and they don't realize that we get afternoon showers and thunderstorms, and that you need to find out the rest of the story. Is the rain going to be all day? Is it just a light rain? Is it a heavy rain? Is it just afternoon thunderstorms? And well, it's going to be mostly just afternoon thunderstorms. So when you look at your 7-day forecast, that's what I'm talking about. We'll go 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today. So don't cancel any outdoor plans. Just check in with the interactive radar. 60% chance Friday, Saturday, Sunday, likely to be tailored up to maybe a 70 to 80 to maybe even a 90% chance of rain. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be all day. I could put a 100% chance of rain on that 7-day forecast, and literally it could be just last 10 minutes. But if everybody gets wet and measurable rain, then you've got yourself a 100% chance of rain. Again, that's why I always say, you got to always check in on the rest of the story. And that's why we do these long form lives in the morning hours. And if you noticed and watch my daily forecast weather updates on the app or online or on social or wherever you may find that, they are typically longer. They're not a minute and a half like I used to do in the old TV days. You can't get enough information out. And I like to teach you how the atmosphere works and why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. So there we go. All right, let's go to the chat here for just a second. Then we'll have another live view as I scan the chat. We'll take you back outside and show you what it looks like at KMNV, Monroe County Airport. Gorgeous sunrise taking shape here this morning. Good morning, Denise. How are you this morning? And yes, good morning, Mike, and everyone. Happy Hump Ed Rupp Day. And speaking of which, shall we say good morning to Ed Rupp?
Wait for him. Wait for him. Bam! Now we slide all the way downhill to the weekend. The kids can get ready for school, and Debbie can take her shower.
Debbie can take her shower. Thank goodness for that. Nice to see you this morning, Ed. And happy hump day to you. Live looking downtown Gatlinburg here this morning. And a little bit of fog banked up against the Smoky Mountains. If you are going to be up there, keep in mind that you may get a couple of showers and thunderstorms with that southeasterly flow coming in from North Carolina and then curving north into upper east Tennessee or northeast Tennessee. Katrina's working on her second cup of coffee already this morning. It's time for those national holidays. Then we've got Witcher's pictures to share with you. All coming up here on Wake Up with Witcher this morning. Let's get to work with those national holidays, shall we? All right, of course, as always, and I say it every day, we're celebrating birthdays and events here this morning. So happy birthday to you or your loved ones or your friends or family member, whatever. Happy birthday. If you're celebrating a birthday today, throw it in the chat. We do need Ed on one day, but he's already told me he's like, Witcher, I ain't getting up that early in the morning to join your broadcast. So we'll just record it and you can replay it every Wednesday. How about that? All right, any events going on in your communities for this upcoming weekend, let me know. We do have a Knox soccer game here today. I don't know exactly what time it is. I'm going to look here in just a little bit. If you happen to know, throw it in the chat. My in-laws are in town. They came in last night, so we went out to dinner last night. which was nice because we typically cook a lot and we don't even have a great kitchen to cook in because remember, it was burned down in a fire and we still have not gotten it rebuilt. I mean, these are some serious Witcher's adventures, right? Anyways, if you know what time the soccer game is, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, let's talk about those events. It's National AI Day. Are you an AI? Or are you an AI? Which one is it, my friends? Listen, I think I've learned a lot about AI. I think a lot of us have learned a lot about AI, how and what it means, and I'm assuming this is what I'm talking about. I guess we can go look at it real quick. But listen, don't ever use AI. Don't be afraid of it. Let's just say that. Don't be afraid of it. I think you have to embrace technology into our lives. Listen, we've embraced these things, right? It took me a long time. I was anti-cell phone for like 3 or 4 years before I even bought my first cell phone. I didn't buy my first cell phone until 2003 or 4. I was like, I don't want people to get a hold of me 24 hours a day. Why would I want that? I'll go home and check my answering machine. Boy, I'm dating myself. And then, of course, you get a cell phone, and now we feel naked without them, right? Which, remember, the other day was National Naked Day. So I think you have to, just like cell phones and technology, I think AI, you just have to recognize that it is here. It's not going anywhere. But how do you use AI? And I've attended several conferences. I've read a lot about AI. And really, if you're going to use AI in your industry or in your daily life, use it as a rough draft, just to help you get your thoughts on paper, because it really does help I use it all the time as a rough draft, saying, I can't really think of what I'm trying to say here. So let me just throw it in an AI, ChatGPT, and see what it comes up with and see if it can help spawn off some more brain cells, if you will. And sure enough, it does. But you can never take that first draft, that rough draft from AI. You've got to put it back into your own words. Otherwise, it just sounds like AI, right? It's National Corn Fritters Day. Do you like corn fritters? I like corn fritters. Corn fritters and that aioli sauce or whatever you put on. Oh, so good. It's so good. Happy hump day to you, Aaron. How are you this morning? Oh, you're welcome, Julie. I like to teach about weather. Some may just want the forecast. And if you just want the 7-day forecast and you don't want the nonsense and the explanations, that's why I have the East Tennessee Weather app. That's why I run that app. That's why I own the app. Because you can literally just go there and find out the forecast, at which point I do manipulate the forecast. Just so you know, when you look at it, no matter where you are in East Tennessee, I manipulate the forecast. And so what I change on the forecast based on your latitude and longitude and elevation, the forecast will change for your area. Otherwise, you're getting a forecast update like 4 times a day, and it's all model data. And we know that you just can't go on one set of model data. You just can't do it. But anyways, it's National Personal Chef Day. All right, here's the deal. I actually follow a personal chef. She is hilarious on social media. Maybe not appropriate for everybody, but she's funny. And she's a personal chef in the Hamptons. I have always said, and I love to cook, okay? I really do like to cook. I like to go to the grocery store. I like to get all these recipes. I use Pinterest a lot for recipes. I've even used ChatGPT and AI for recipes. I did that the other night. I said, this is what I have to cook. We were doing the college clean out before my in-laws came. And I said, this is what I have to cook. Make me a recipe. And it made this awesome, bowl of like chicken and bacon and corn and whatever else I put in there. But anyways, as much as I love to cook, if I had trillions of dollars, millions of dollars, let's not go trillions, let's go millions. If I had enough money not to worry about anything, you better believe that I would hire a personal chef to cook all my meals. No doubt. Because cooking is great. It's great to teach the kids, but it takes time. Not only do you have to go to the grocery store to get everything, but you have to prepare it, and then you have to clean up. And nobody likes to clean up after cooking, but it has to be done. And now that my kids are getting a little bit older, they're helping just a little bit more. Little chores, a little bit more, and a little bit more. as they get older. It's National Hot Dog Day. I mean, are you a fan of hot dogs? Do you like hot dogs? I love hot dogs. Now, do I eat them very often? Absolutely not. Do I? Because I know what's in them. Probably don't want to go down that road. At least most hot dogs. You probably don't want to go down that road. But in my personal opinion, a hot dog needs to have relish, onions, ketchup, mustard, and loaded to the gills. Now, I know there's different kinds of hot dogs. Chicago dogs, Asian dogs. We've got all these different kinds of hot dogs. But a good old classic barbecue hot dog is one of my favorites. All right, let's take it back outside. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like we'll go right here. That is Fox Road Marina. Look at the grass in the foreground. It's brown and dry. Yay! Congratulations, Lisa. My new grandson was born this morning at 4:08 a.m. Congratulations to you. And of course, the new parents. Maybe they're not new parents, but new parents to this baby. Congratulations. That is amazing stuff. All right, Russell says, I keep watching the spaghetti plots from reliable meteorological sources. Well, spaghetti plots don't come from reliable meteorological sources. Those are just models, just an FYI. On the low crossing Florida into the Gulf, and I'm hopeful that we are going to get some much-needed rain from this in the future. But modeling changes with these lows. Yes, they do. And did you know, Russell, that on the East Tennessee Weather app, you can actually get spaghetti plots? Now, I don't know if it's going to show up. But let me show you what it looks like. I'll take you to the East Tennessee Weather app here. Again. So if you go to the interactive radar, click on the interactive radar in the app, go to the top right-hand side and click on the cog wheel, and then you can go to overlays, and then you have spaghetti models right there. National Hurricane Tropical Tracks right there. There's a wealth of weather information right there with overlays and a lot of data that's available to us as well. But let's see. There's the spaghetti plots. So that is what Russell's talking about. So he's talking about this low. It's an invest. Well, I didn't want to do that. We'll get that off the screen. Maybe. Anyways, when the National Hurricane Center has this invest, now they're talking about the spaghetti models, and it looks like spaghetti on that's why they're called spaghetti plots. It looks like spaghetti that's just been thrown down on the ground. And the closer, notice how it has a good idea of where this low is going to go, but then after that, notice all these models are all over the place. Does it curve up into East Tennessee? Most of the models at some point in time have it curving back into the Tennessee Valley, northern Alabama, Georgia. And one takes it all the way back down into Jacksonville, Florida, and back into the Gulf. Whew, that was almost a Freudian slip here. All right, so that's what Russell's talking about. You have that available on the East Tennessee Weather app, along with a wealth of weather information. So it is a robust weather app to help you really navigate what's going on. All right, I do have some photos to share with you this morning. Lots of photos. It is 6:26, by the way. So if you need to head off, I sure hope you have a great day. We'll start you off with this one right here. And doing some construction back there. Let's see what they say about this one. So this one is a beautiful sunset, by the way. This was sent in by Lisa Gibson, who just had a grandson at 4:08 this morning. A beautiful sunrise. That's a sunrise, by the way. A sunrise. Marilyn Evans posted this next one. So Marilyn Evans posted this through Witcher's Pictures, and you can also update the... Whoa, why is that one upside down? You can also update... there we go. We'll put it right side up. You can upload those through the Witcher's Pictures link using the East Tennessee Weather app. So Marilyn, thanks so much for that one. How about this one? Name that flower. Can somebody tell me what that flower is? I'm pretty sure I know what it is. Let's see what the chat says. Ringgold, Georgia, morning glories. Oh, okay. I was going to say iris. That's a morning glory. That was sent in by Autopilot. Where have you been, Otto? He's not been on the chat for a while. Here's a nice, beautiful shot of a Creighton myrtle. And I don't know why these photos are turning upside down for some reason, but they are. There we go. That's a Creighton myrtle sent in by Autopilot. Let's see. We've got another couple great ones. Let's see. We got that one. How about this one? This is a great one. Nice cumulonimbus clouds. I don't know why these are all rotating weirdly, but they are. All right. So how about that shot right there? Love those cumulonimbus clouds. Actually, when we were coming out of dinner last night, let's get this back on the screen. Oh, my computer's freaking out. All right, here we go. See if we can get that. Well, anyways, it's sideways. But anyways, we were coming out of dinner last night. My son goes, "Is that a cumulonimbus cloud, Dad?" And I said, "No, that one's just a cumulus cloud. But we have some cumulonimbus clouds over there." Here's a great shot. Another great one. Again, I don't know why. For some reason, these are rotating. So this one is a great little view right there. That one's coming in from Angela Cross. With my son in view, this is looking towards Knoxville from Pigeon Forge while on vacay Tuesday evening and not at CVS this week. Angela, good morning. How's your vacation this morning? I actually was at CVS yesterday. I was like, I wonder if my good friend Angela's here. Well, you weren't. And now I know you're on vacation. Let's take this one into view. And it's probably going to be sideways. No, it's not sideways. All right, so this one is coming in from Lindsay Reel. Beautiful sunset sky in Whitesburg, Tennessee. Great one there. And this last one's coming in from Braden. He says, an amazing day on the lake. And this one's coming in from Braden. Braden. I know where that is. That's part of the lake that I'm always on. I know where that is. Great Witchers pictures. Thank you so much for sharing those with us with us this morning. I'm trying, Brian. I'm trying to teach you every day. Well, I try. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. She says, you have a good relationship with your kids the way I do. It's amazing. I do. I try, but I have, when you get mad at your kids and you have to raise your voice, for me personally, that hurts my heart so bad. It hurts my heart. Did I lose my patience too soon? Should I have yelled at them? Should I have raised my voice? And so usually when they get in trouble and I walk away, I kind of go back to my room or come back to the studio and sit by myself for a second, and kind of reflect on how I parented. Because parenting's hard. That's the hardest job I've ever done my entire life. But it's also one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had in my entire life. Good morning, Sue. How are you? She's joining us from Wares Valley this morning. I love Wares Valley. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Has it been busy? Has it been a busy summer up towards Wares Valley? I mean, just kind of, getting right next to Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. AI is perfect to those who have ADHD like me. It is. Did you say nakedness? Couldn't hear you there, Mike. LOL. I did. It was National Naked Day the other day. We talked about it. You missed it. Cheryl says, yummy corn fritters. Love to cook and bake. I do too. I'm not much of a baker. I do like to bake a little bit. Grilled hot dogs. Oh, yeah. I do like boiled hot dogs, believe it or not. But grilled, I like grilled better too. Love hot dogs and Angus beef. All right, there we go, Christy. How are you this morning? You don't really like hot dogs that much? Miranda does. Love Chicago dogs. I'm not a big fan of Chicago dogs. Good morning, Rick. How are you this morning? We got Alice joining us from New Market. Good morning, Weather Fam. How are you, Alex? Nice to see you on here this morning. Got a lot of folks on here this morning. Your husband owns an excavating business. That makes more sense now. Hence all the big construction stuff right there. Did I see the heart in the clouds? I did not see the heart in the clouds, but Another side story of my son walking out talking about the cumulus clouds or cumulonimbus clouds. My other son said, "Hey, Dad, look at that one. That one looks like Garfield and something else." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it does." I said, "Son, I love staring at clouds and looking at them and seeing what kind of different shapes." Sorry about that, Kathy. Different shapes you can see in the clouds. Good morning, Brandy. How are you this morning? Joining us from Warburg. Love it. Love Morgan County. One of my faves. Because you can go hiking there. It's beautiful. And you don't have a lot of people. You get away from the Sevier County stuff and all the people. But Sevier County has its own things, and that's what makes it so great. Did my chickens' pictures go through yesterday? Ooh, I'm going to have to check on this. I do not have a chicken picture. Email that to me. Mike@easttnweather.com. For some reason, it's not uploaded to, let me check. That's last 30 days. Hold on. Let me just double check here. And do I have any chickens on here? I do not have any chickens in front of me. Well, except myself, because sometimes I am a big giant chicken. All right, my friends, we're going to wrap things up here this morning. I sure hope you have a great day. We are going to leave you with a beautiful view, by the way, of downtown Clinton this morning, the gorgeous sunrise, a few clouds hanging out with us. Remember, the East Tennessee Weather app is a robust weather app. You get spaghetti plots, you get National Hurricane Storm tracks, you get watches and warnings, alerts, night lightning notification, daily forecast, 1 minute with Witcher, the forecast that I actually update. Jeez, what else can you get from it? And of course, it's all brought to you by local sponsors like Brogan Financial. Jim Brogan's a great guy. Brogan Financial is a great organization. I wouldn't be here without all of the local sponsorships. I did have somebody reach out to me and said, "Witcher, do you offer a paid app subscription?" Because I would pay for it, so I don't have any more ads on your platform. I said, "There's not, unfortunately, and just know that I have to have these ads in order to keep this up and running. Otherwise, I don't have money to broadcast every day." But they're all local. I don't have a bunch of nonsense on the East Tennessee weather platforms, i.e. Google AdSense and all those pop-ups and all the things. They're all local. Local people that live in our community, that are supporting our community with another local business. That is what makes our community great, along with you joining me this morning and every morning. Enjoy the sunrise this morning coming in from Anderson County in downtown Clinton on top of the courthouse. Have a great day. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Life is short. I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Wait for him. Wait for him. Bam! Now we slide all the way downhill to the weekend. The kids can get ready for school, and Debbie can take her shower.